My fiancé's mother told me I'd never fit into their legacy family, so I hired her ex-husband to walk me down the aisle. Now she's threatening to boycott the wedding unless I uninvite the man she divorced 30 years ago for being common just like you. The first time I met Catherine Collins, she looked at my waitress uniform and asked her son if this was some kind of practical joke. James had warned me his mother was particular, but nothing prepared me for the woman who informed me over appetizers that the Collins family had been banking and breeding strategically since 1902. I'd grown up in foster care, worked full-time through community college, and was now finishing my business degree while managing a restaurant. Catherine found this quaint but ultimately unsuitable for someone joining their family. Legacy families require certain backgrounds, she explained while examining my nails for imperfections. Despite Catherine's weekly hints about more appropriate matches, James proposed 6 months later. When he called to share the news, Catherine's response was immediate. At least get a friend up. The family money isn't for funding her inevitable ambitions, I suggested we elope. But James wanted his family there. She'll warm up to you, he promised. Just give her time. Time only sharpened Catherine's tactics. During wedding planning, she helpfully arranged interviews with wedding planners who specialized in tasteful, modest ceremonies for couples with limited expectations. She sent me links to etiquette courses for those not born into proper society. She even suggested a lovely little white pantsuit instead of a gown because second weddings should be understated turner. Though neither of us had been married before, the breaking point came during a tense dinner where Catherine presented a 30-page front-up she'd drafted herself. As I began reading the humiliating terms, she patted my hand and said, "Darling, you seem upset. Perhaps this is a sign you are not ready for our world. Bueno families require sacrifices. Some people simply don't have the breeding to make them." That night, while scrolling through old photos James had shown me of his family, I noticed something strange, parent. His father Thomas looked nothing like the man in their wedding photos. When I asked James, he explained that Thomas was his stepfather. His biological father, Richard, had divorced Catherine decades ago. Mom never forgave him for being embarrassingly normal, James explained. He was a mechanic who married into money. She divorced him for social incompatibility when I was 3. Something clicked. I asked James for Richard's contact information, claiming I wanted to know more about James' childhood. The truth was more strategic. Richard turned out to be warm, funny, and delighted to hear from his son's fiancée, Rafette, over coffee. He shared stories about young James and the bitter divorce where Catherine had tried to erase him completely. She called me a social liability, he chuckled. Best compliment I ever got. When I explained my situation, Richard's eyes lit up. You need someone to walk you down the aisle. I'd be honored to stand in parent, especially if it reminds Catherine that common people have value too. When the formal invitation with Richard listed as my man of honor reached Catherine, her call came within minutes. She was livid, demanding I uninvite that embarrassment immediately. He doesn't belong in family photos, she hissed. What will people think? They'll think exactly what you've taught them, I replied calmly, that some people don't have the proper breeding to hide their true feelings. Catherine is now threatening to boycott the wedding entirely. James, after years of peacekeeping, finally told his mother that if she can't respect his choice of partner, perhaps she's the one who doesn't understand what family means. Some people think legacy is about bloodlines and bank accounts. I believe it's about having the courage to break cycles of judgment.